Inferno was absolutely incredible. Envy have brought a level we are yet to see from them during this tournament. And RPK, as you could see, had a bit of a game.
Yeah, one hell of a second half, and we saw Scream really come to life straight from the get-go. And then immediately after switching halves, it was just RP tank. Locking down that pit, locking down that A-bomb site. Are you ready for map number 2?
I don't know if I am, because this should be NIPs, right? In my head, it's got to be NIP. They played a great cash game leading up to this. They played it during ESL 1 Cologne. They looked good. They took on the very best, and they beat them there. But Envy are looking next level, and they shouldn't win it. It should go to 3 maps. But I've got a feeling that Envy could just run with this, not only because of how they played in the first map, but also because James Duffield also predicted they'd win this.
That's true, and he predicted KPI upsetting Envy the first time, so he knows Envy's weaknesses.
He's next level.
James all day.
Yeah, if he wins this, I do hope you guys do turn around at the desk again and, you know, Halvor.
Change roles.
Great hosting before, by the way, Halvor. That was second to none. Did appreciate that. But yeah, we are waiting to see this one kick back off. I don't know what to expect. It's all in Envy's hands in my eyes, because I always feel that you're going to expect a certain level from NIP, and I don't think they're going to let us down on cash, right? I think you're always going to get that sort of level. Now, Envy, though, if everything goes right for them, they could take this win here.
I mean, that's one of the craziest things of this, is that I feel like going into every single map, whether that B versus KPI, whether that B versus Misfits, and now NIP, it's always a question of, well, is it going to be which EnVyUs? Because we've seen EnVyUs just completely falter, completely fumble, and then we see them like what we just did on Inferno, where they come in just miraculously winning out all kinds of rounds. So it's just a giant question mark, but I think I'm in the same boat as you, Lauren. I can't help but feel like NIP are going to come in prepared for this map. It is their choice. They have so much experience. They've been here before. They're not going to be sweating bullets. But then again, it's kind of their map to lose, because what if EnVyUs get off to a fantastic start? What if Scream gets 15 kills in the first like 6-7 rounds again?
Yeah.
So many questions and no answers just yet.
But what a story as well for those guys, because Envy they've had a rough time recently. They aren't feeling themselves perfectly. NIP have been on the rise, but we can come back to NIP's kind of shoot to being back in everyone's sights in a second, because it's all about Envy for me, because as said, today we saw a different team, and it's been a day-by-day change here at the DreamHack ASTRO Open, obviously out in Valencia. Maybe shaking those first game, you know, jitters, whatever happens. You know, it used to be any team with shocks in could never play first game. First map was always really, really shaky, but then by the end of it, it was like, oh, okay, they're back, they're fine. It was just that first one game. Maybe they're starting to shake that. If that's the case, we've got a bit of a contender on our hands. But let's talk about NIP a little bit here, because they're a team that obviously everyone's back on the hype train. They've got some new players coming in, some decent results, threats back, it's all looking good. But then again, we often say this, NIP always seem to have improvements of ability. They go through a honeymoon period, and they're good at it. They play it out well, they really, really peak. But it's a matter of consistency now. This isn't a huge pressure tournament for NIP either, I don't feel. This isn't one where they're going to be, you know, petrified of not winning or et cetera, et cetera. You've got to feel as though they're going to be okay, just kind of like, all right, let's just grind it out, let's play through, let's get Drake and let's get Rez feeling comfortable in the lineup, give us the best sort of things to look back over. There's no better practice than events themselves. This is where you have to show everything. So for NIP, this is perfect. We are just waiting for NIP, I think. One of the players probably needs the Steam auth or Steam login off their phone, basically. So the admin needs to bring him his phone, he can log in, and then we can play some video games. So we'll be talking for a little bit of a time. Not too much, I can imagine. But yeah, all in all, it'll take a bit of a second. But yeah, I don't know what to say more than that, because it's all up to Envy. They could just turn this game on its head.
I think that if we go back to those player interviews we saw before this series went live, right, it's playing off of exactly what you just said. NIP coming into this with no real expectations. They just want to kind of test the waters. It's not as though this is going to be, say, like KPI, where it's their big annual event. There's no pressure for NIP. But, I mean, Scream made some bold statements, saying, of course, that they were looking to come in and win, and that they were very well prepared, and they were this well-oiled machine. And had I heard that after day one, or even yesterday, I would have, you know, kind of laughed to myself. But now, having watched Inferno, I can kind of feel it. And you have to consider, of course, that the day before they come to Valencia, they're able to qualify for DreamHack Masters Malmo. So we know that as of very recent, they have had great results. If they can further this series and get into the grand finals, then I'd say they've accomplished their goal.
I would also say is, I hope people don't overlook how good Envy actually are at Inferno. During the online season of Pro League leading up to the finals, it was one of their go-to maps. It was one of their redeeming points was okay, Inferno comes back in, they're one of the teams to kind of adopt it early and start running with it. They've got a very unique approach. The players play it very well. You start to feel they're very confident on it and they feel comfortable. You can see it in their gameplay. So again, I wouldn't put it past them. I don't say it's like their insta-pick or anything like that, but they are very, very strong. However, NIP should be a little better off than that. I've got to feel they should have come in a little hotter, but again, NIP haven't had the biggest tests just yet throughout this tournament either. They've not had an easy run. That's not correct. But it hasn't been as taxing as Envy. If there's any time to learn, it's during these games. They've played almost every single game's gone to 3 maps. They've had OTs. They've had some real shaky times. If there's any time to kind of reflect on that and then pull some good performance out of it, it's now. They have to deliver it here. And for Envy as well, they're not a team who looks into opponents who are quote-unquote not on the same level, right? You say these two teams are tier 1, right? Envy, your NIP, tier 1 teams. I don't think that Envy would look at other teams the way they'd look at NIP. I'm pretty sure they're very used to how each other play. Whether or not they actually look into them tactically, different. But it's more that Envy at least, have played them enough that they have in their mind how, okay, well, this is how NIP does this. Oh, okay, during Prac, they tried this. Okay, we watched at Cologne, this is what they're doing now, right? You can kind of work it out. And let's bear in mind, when Envy were extremely good at Cash, NIP were like extremely good at when Threat first came in and they had those crazy like anti-ecos and all this beautiful stuff. Envy were playing them still, or some of Envy were playing them at the time. The French roster are very aware of his team, so two teams who play on a regular basis have a very different matchup to someone who doesn't play Envy at all.
I feel like already we've just kind of seen the proof in the pudding. Versus KPI, EnVyUs seemed kind of lost. And you just brought up, of course, the fact that maybe they wouldn't be looking into teams of that caliber. Remember, of course, according to HLTV, prior to this event, KPI is ranked outside of the top 100. So why would EnVyUs spend time on that? But what that kind of left them with was this moment of just unknowingness. We saw them trying to make plays happen where KPI were able to exploit that. Again, because they are the type of team to fixate on that match. But it's familiar territory now for EnVyUs. They've been here a million times. They've played a million games versus these very same players. So you're just 100% right.
And classically as well, Envy often play to the opponent's skill level, which it sounds weird, doesn't it? But they'll generally meet tier 1 teams in a better form, right? They'll come in, they're way more focused. It might even echo back to the fact that they focus more in those games. They approach them differently. They're very aware of how it plays together. But it's something you often see. So when you see two teams of this caliber meeting, you get this kind of way better matchup head-to-head. So again, a lot of factors maybe behind the scenes in this one, but all I know is the knife is live right now. I think the issue in the end was just, Threat just adjusting his mic, getting sure everything's working for this game. Doesn't want to have any issues coming into a map where he is so pivotal. He provides a great role in this. He keeps them well into check. And hopefully, even just between maps, he's been able to get them back up and back focused. This is your map. You get it done. So now let's see what we get starting with on this one as well. We are just waiting on them to pick sides. The knife has gone down. Exist just having a chat. Of course, in-game leadership falling towards his shoulders. And to look after the two new players as well. Never easy, but they seem to be holding their own more than not. So, a couple more moments, we'll get this one started. If you're a betting man, where would you put your money?
Ooh.
Just on this map.
Just on this one map?
Yep.
I can't help but feel...
You can ignore the others.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like NIP. I'm very confident in their cash play. Again, based off of ESL Cologne, I mean, they went into an even larger tournament, an even larger stage, and they performed incredibly well. I mean, it's pretty much all we saw from them was that. Yeah. So I can't help but feel like based on that, yeah, they're definitely going to be able to take this to a third map, I believe.
I'd hope so. I think we've seen good things on this. Again, Forest had great games on this map specifically. For me, you've got to enjoy watching Forest play on this one. I think it was the pistol round. I can't remember who was playing, but they played him in so well. They've got some really nice small set pieces that I really enjoy watching. So I think everyone's a fan of Forest though when it goes right. You know what I mean? No one can just be like, oh, I'm just not a fan. It's like, come on. It's like everyone likes watching Neo play. Everyone likes watching Forest play. These guys are just too good at what they do. But we are still waiting on this one. I think there's still a little issue with Threat's mic. I hope that'll be fixed up soon. They're just fiddling around with headsets, but just give a little bit of extra time for them to warm up here. But I'm wondering how much NIP have had, be able to get done here, because they've kind of come off right off the back of Cologne. Clearly, they were prepared for that. There was no taking away. They were prepared for cash within that environment. They did very well. But how much time have they had since then to maybe adjust or look over things or start really working with the players? Because I can imagine they probably, I'm making guesses here, but maybe they stayed in Cologne for a couple of extra days and then just flew directly off the back because there wasn't that much time in between. So I'm wondering what they've come up with since then. Could this be a more refined cache than we saw then?
Yeah. One thing one of the question marks that I'm kind of left wondering with is EnVyUs, obviously, I feel like they came very prepared into that Inferno game. They looked very well oiled. It seemed like they were able to change things up on the fly. They had solid reads of their opponents. And again, we talk about preparation versus these types of calibered opponents, rather. And so all of a sudden, you think, of course, EnVyUs have a great sample size of recent games from NIP on cache. NIP have great results, but if their coach, if any of their players took some time to just go over those 3 maps at Cologne, then they're going to have a very good example as to what maybe NIP have in this. And if there's any kind of little kinks they're able to exploit, then they're going to be good to go. So at least EnVyUs have that in their hands. It's going to be an uphill battle again, I believe, but we saw Scream come out of it, just flying colors in that first map. Who knows what's in store?
Well, at the moment, I'm looking over this and we've been informed that there's still a couple of issues going with Threats Mike, and because he is an incredibly vital member of what NIP need for this one, we're going to go to a very short break. But as soon as it's ready, we'll be back into this one. So guys, do stay tuned. Apologies for this, but as soon as it's ready, we get to see cache.
What defines a master? Is it an unparalleled game sense? Is it the perfect aim? Or is it an iron will to succeed?
Instant abuser falling in. Oh, that is incredible! Brilliant play from Fallen. Limited vision, limited weapons. Doesn't even matter to Prey. Oh, the fourth as well. Taco gets him down. No chance for pass and a strike. Nice shot. Snags up close. And a straight flash high in the sky that won't be able to dodge. Means he can go back for more. And he certainly will. Finds a second and a third. Snags on fire. What a shot!
How much has ASTRO got to bring this round? Rain could be the one to do it all.
Well, this is fast-paced. There's a headshot. Oh, he is second. And a third. Sprays them all down. Dennis is spamming it through the bench, leaving Coldzera in a 1-on-4. There's the first. Looking for a second. He connects it. Oh, and he gets a third as well. Coldzera, the man, the myth, the beast.
Well, we just wanted to give you some nerd chills for a little while. Always good to hear that. The man, the beast, the legend, something along those lines. Vince, is
Close
that what we're going for? You know, the man, the myth, the legend, the classic tosspot line, but changed slightly for Coldzera. I like it. But yeah, sick trailer, by the way. Have you seen that before?
Goosebumps every time.
So good. So damn good. Anyway, we'll get back to the game. I got a little excited, you know. Can't help myself. But there's no Coldzera here, but there's a lot of people to be looking at. NIP against EnVyUs. Thank you for sticking with us. I know it's a little bit of time there, but do not worry. Threat, he's got his mic going. It's all okay. All is well on the Western Front. NIP on the T side, Envy on the CT side. And we're going to be starting this one up right about now.
Nice bit of utility here, actually, from EnVyUs. One frag already out, and it's RPK who looks for a bit of information, falls back from A main as he does spot targets. NIP grouping all of their forces in this direction, and it's off of the smoke that they're going to begin to execute. They try to block Sixer off, but he goes up instead, and that's where he goes down. Rez able to find that opening frag here to the hands of NIP, but the rest of EnVyUs have just fallen away from the bomb site. They're content with playing this retake. Sixer did drop a kit next to Toxic, but Happy, the utility man, he's going to get tagged down, sitting on 20 points of health now as Scream sort of caught in the open, tries to duel back versus Forklift. Of course, Draken's been killed in the process, and Get Right's next to fall. So a two-man advantage as Exist looks to anchor to the back of Quad. They've got a bit of a crossfire, but the CTs continue to flood forward. Exist ripping one from the skies, off the burst, but down they go. EnVyUs with a successful retake.
Very impressive as well. There's a great setup there from NIP. They were in good positions, but simply enough, couldn't land the shots when they needed to. The crossfire was decent between Exist and Forest there. You highlighted it, but they didn't get the play out they needed. So Envy pull off the almost perfect retake then. It was very well constructed between each of them. You almost saw the Observer then trying to get set up on this sweet shot. You saw the little wiggle there. It was like, oh God, they're coming to me. It's all right. It's all good. Envy, one on the board. SMGs everywhere, but it's still a UMP with loads of utility, which is awesome to see. Looks like a flash towards main's about to be set from Sixer. Get some nice info building. And Exist will be on the other side, completely blind. And it's free farm for RPK. He wants more too. He can just drop out nade, tenderize the target, but it encourages the hit to come through from Squeaky. But they have players aware of it. They got a player playing on default. This is a shutdown until Get Right comes out swinging. 2 kills is all he'll get, but a good impact from him. But overall, another round for Envy.
Yeah, really taking an initiative off of that flashbang, immediately removing the players out of A main, and then even though that forces the hand of NIP, even though they flood into the bomb site and grab those 2 frags, it's all coordinated. It's exactly what EnVyUs expect at that point. And again, it was on their terms because they get those initial kills. But it's now NIP who get themselves some guns, and Sixer's not going to upgrade. He's going to hang on to just that 5-7. There's plenty of cash for somebody to have dropped him, so this is a little awkward.
But I like this read coming in. We know that Scream loves to play up close. He'll do this very, very often. You'll see it time and time again. And you see the boost here on towards T-Red. Happy does not want this boost, but he is still going. Off he goes, probably to his death. There's a man over by the white truck. I'm not sure who it is. It's Drake. And so they're very much expecting this. It's a very slow piece from NIP just to ensure that there's no aggression. There's loads of it. So let's see if it pays off. It should do. NIP are literally sat for this. So RPK's baiting in, allowing Happy to make the peek off the back of it. He falls to allow that to happen, but no! Forrest finds the perfect reply. That's a bit of a disaster for Envy. They constructed that to allow Happy to get a play in. Doesn't happen, but NIP's approach to this round was perfectly contained.
Really nice opening. Awesome play from Forrest to not just get one, but both. I mean, of course, EnVyUs go into that tactically. They do try to synchronize their peaks. Just doesn't pan out. XMS alone towards the B site. He's going to feel a lot of pressure now. This is a 4-man split coming in from 2 directions. XMS completely quelled as Forrest now dropped down. That Sixer to retrieve the gun, but he too tumbles as Get Right finds the next frag and the bomb plant for NIP.
Scream, no kit, still has a rifle though. Spots one, waits for that tap, and you almost start to believe it's going to happen when he gets so close. We're going to try and adjust position quickly, but it's time to back away, I can imagine. Or maybe try and get some exit kills. Cost him some money if you can. You don't really have time to make much of a play now. That's the problem for Scream. No kits available. He might be able to take Get Right's gun away if Get Right isn't fully aware of this. Because this could be in for a bit of trouble too. You can see Get Right so cautious on his way out. Doesn't need to go much further than this. You can stay alive in Sunroom. And just Scream waiting spots one. Oh, Get Right! You're going to feel that in the morning. And Scream going to go back for more. No, playing on the angle. Exist. Not to be found. So, keeps the gun, makes a little bit of money in addition, and takes some away from NIP. And NIP's money isn't great. They're about 2.5k, so they can get the rifle's bit of armor. But it's still not good enough to really get the full purchase. So they can spread the wealth out. But let's kind of review their approach to this. This is the sort of information play and being, should I say, an informed play from NIP. Knowing that Envy are not going to upgrade because it's just Envy, right? Knowing they're going to be on those sort of guns. Knowing they're going to go for aggressive plays. And we're going to see more. It looked like they wanted to go for a bit of a play towards A main. RPK was in the flash spot for it. But again, NIP very aware of this being a possibility. Going full mid control. They see no one there. And it kind of indicates, all right, Envy are up to something. Yeah, and you can see the instant response. Rez starts spamming in.
Yeah, he's just trying to make a bit of a ruckus here. Does pull the attention of Scream, that one Catalyst AK up from Highway. and into the bomb site. But EnVyUs, they've got more tricks up their sleeve. They're going to go for the boost. XMS to the corner. And again, this is still a very stacked A bomb site. But Nip, while they did get that initial mid control, haven't really done anything with it as of yet. There's no rush, of course, a minute on the clock. And it's now that they start to just push themselves forward. Scream, training in, trying to find another one tap. But it's instead a dirt nap. Rez takes him down. And that's still the 5 AKs now in play. That one AK of Scream yet to be retrieved. It's going to be sitting out in the open. Sixer desperately trying to find it. Draken and Exist, they combine for 2. That's the A site now crumbled. And only with RPK and Happy left standing. Good conversion point from Nip. They don't jump the gun. Very little losses other than utility at this point.
Well aware as to where the remaining players are. Happy being split out as well. He's going to try and back away with the Deagle. Not sure if he's even going to be able to keep control of too much of it. Lots of pressure to be applied, but not too much. Again, NIP want to build up their own economy. They were pretty skint in this round. And with the bomb plant, minimal deaths. Obviously, that does indeed help. Get Right is still sat on 2K currently, so they'll have plenty of money going forward, or at least enough to build up a little bank, but you don't want to lose out guns here needlessly, so you can see they're being a little cautious. They're not overly chasing Happy. That flash is really good, to be fair. Ooh. But the pre-fire is better. Forrest's going to find it. And there it is. NIP find recovery here, and a great mental fortitude coming out from them. I like the approach they have in this. They seem hyper aware of what the opponents are likely to do. This could be a nice buy coming out for Envy, though. Wonder if we're going to see maybe an AWP coming to practice. No, not such a, no such thing just yet. Sixer not going to have the funding for it, but someone could have dropped it over to him, but not going to go for that. So, Envy, what's the game plan now? NIP back in control, just a touch. Starting to get the rounds that quote-unquote matter. See the pre-fire. Forrest again, waiting to see if he can find Sixer or Scream, whoever's pushing up towards mid.
This Sixer who's able to just tuck himself into the corner here. Little 2-1-2 coming in from EnVyUs. Sixer is alone. And it's yet again going to be Rez just trying to poke and prod into that A bomb site. Trying to offset the defense, trying to force their hand. Meanwhile, Forrest going through the hoops of taking this mid control, but does he check underneath him? His life in question, as is this execution from NIP. Sixer in a prime spot. He goes for the spray, though, and he will take one. Forrest finding the trade immediately back, and that's mid control here in the hands of Nip.
This could start getting slightly uncomfortable now for Envy, but we'll see how well Rez can do here. Happy on the other side, a bit of a master at playing out from forklift, so you've got to be pretty aware of that. But Rez is just dedicated to this angle. He's not moving from this. Barely blinking at this point. NIP. Hold up, Forrest. Is he sending on a solo mission? He has. He's been sent off. He's just been unleashed. Oh, Forrest, that's incredible. 2 big kills. The site's his. Now they need to make a quick dash over towards B. The bomb wasn't even here. He was meant to get that success, but Forrest doesn't care. It's RPK now in a 1v4. Molly comes in. There's no aggression to be found here. Bomb's going to be planted. I'm not sure how much he can find. Could be a kill if he looked the other way, but Rez will claim him in the end. But what a moment from Forrest.
Yeah, that's all Forrest. Just completely cracks open that B bomb site. We see, of course, Happy try to get aggressive inside of A main in a response to that. So at least EnVyUs playing some responsive CS, just trying to find an opening of their own, trying to get that at least to play with. They dwindle down the numbers. Maybe they make the retake happen, but that is not the case. It's Forrest that ensures the bomb plant, and then a great hold inside A main. RPK comes up empty-handed, and it's just pistols for Envy this time around. They've got that triple flashbang, a couple of upgraded pistols, but very little to play off of. This is a round for Nip to win already, with Forrest finding one frag up from Highway. So changing the pace, getting aggressive, and just looking to take this site by storm, or at least a couple of frags at the very least. It is another headshot, near 3 and 4. All through the skulls of Envy. Draken gonna take 1 kill of his own, but what an anti-eco.
Forrest has been getting his aimbots working, a bit of boomio going. He's like, look how good I am, guys. Like, can you please replicate this? Obviously, it was against a basically ecoed up team, but it was pretty crisp. Like, it's the shot to barrels there. It's like, all right, Forrest is having a good game. Nice shot, Forrest. When you're getting approved of by Scream, always feels pretty nice, but here's another big round coming in. Decent buy, double up coming out for EnVyUs. Scream up close, personal. Oh, great flash from NIP, but Get Right unaware still finds RPK somehow. And they're right next to each other. The smoke just about keeping them apart. Scream doesn't know what trouble he's in, and neither does Get Right, to be fair. And Scream's confused. He's baffled. Where the hell did Get Right go? Smoke comes in. That's going to be called out. Get Right's got to know this, but Happy has his back. Get Right's going to try and play into it. Scream gets the better of him, but a good trade comes back. It's a 4v3, favorable towards NIP, but Happy could ruin all of this. Take away all those hopes and dreams from the Swedes, and as can Sixer. Happy, where were you looking? He couldn't adjust in time. It's down to Sixer now, who's got pressure left, right, and center. He does succeed on one front, but more will soon be flooding in towards this site.
Most notably Drake, and he's the closest. He's coming into the side of Red Box. Sixer hears the feet and a no-scope through the head as he re-peeks for more. Sixer just holding the line. It's just down to Forrest. We saw him in the last round find some headshots. Can he do it again? Sixer, hungry for some frags, as now XMS comes to join forces, and there is no bomb. There is no round for NIP. What a hold.
That was all Sixer. Those shots were just filthy. I don't know how the hell he hit these. It was just so swift. That adjustment was brilliant. He had the time on this second shot, but, you know, sped it up on towards Drake, and once he started to turn, and Exist just got completely ruined, didn't he? 3-4. EnVy not going to take this laying down. The double ops do pay off. Not as cleanly as I can imagine they would have wanted. Not exactly what you have in the back of your mind when you go to double op is depending on one to find that, but Draken's going for a quicker play here. Flash comes in. He has to fall back a second, as you can hear the shot coming through from the other side.
But immediately going back for this repeat, just looking for the angle, even the wall bang. Trying to throw anything here at that defense of EnVy. The defense, of course, which has been filtered back towards that site. RPK and Sixer side by side. Exist just going to play the red box, so we do see NIP just kind of pumping the brakes a little bit here. Not getting over zealous.
See a little bit of movement now coming out from EnVyUs. Smoke in towards Squeak. Rez takes a lot of damage, down to 10 HP. And now the main aggression, late CT-sided aggression, so hard to deal with. Especially when RPK and Scream are the ones doing it, the two heavy hitters. And they're going to continue to push. Look at this, they are right in their faces. XMS can just have a nice off angle. I don't know if Gerard saw this. And now XMS deeper on the angle, can't back away, has to stand his ground, has to fight this. And he has Happy supporting, and that is a perfect combination again. NIP, rock in a hard place, undersells this one. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide for Get Right. Molly comes out towards Vents. He can't get through that unless he would like to burn to death. Would you accept your fate? How would you like to get this one over and done with? You got Happy to your left. He's found a little room to work in this. This really worries me. How has he got this far? No one's actually watching B. Oh, God, no. Okay, so Get Right can get the bomb down.
Yeah.
They won't hear the initial plant, but they will now hear that. And they're going to know it's not A. But how far can he get away with this? He needs a clean shot on the first or someone. He needs to get one clean hit and find a sick after plant spot because it's not going to happen. Happy is waiting for it. And EnVy, they give up the plant, sure. But they keep 4 alive and they get the round.
They're going to throw that third op to the wayside as well. Scream going to get himself back onto the M4. So I think this is actually pretty interesting to see now Sixer and Happy playing this double op setup because we saw Scream go for it prior.
Which is very odd.
Yeah, it is. But hey, it works. Happy's able to take 2 in that round, and then I believe this one's his as well. Yes, sir. The third. So a 3K for Happy and a 4th round for EnVy. Able to tie things up already, as seen in Inferno.
Yeah, very close stuff between these two. EnVy CT side obviously being a little more tested than it was on Inferno. That was almost, well, it was flawless. And now Sixer. Oh, if he pulled that trigger, there could have been something happening off that. Gonna fall off it though, and it looks like a retake towards A. There's only one person here, and it is Sixer. There's no one playing closer to site. He's gonna fall on towards it. Molly's come in. He does have support, but I think that's Happy close by. Not exactly who you'd want, but how is Sixer getting away with this? 2 kills, no answer. A 3rd! Sixer! He can't be stopped. These orbs are coming alive. But NIP will not relent. They will not stop yet, but the smoke dissipates. Draken needs to land it. He does. There's still hope. As he waits to see, would XMS present himself? No, he finds a new route. He tries to find his way back in this round.
Fantastic op play already in this one. Draken would love a 3rd to match that of Sixer. A valiant attempt to hold the site, but it has fallen. XMS to the top side. and immediately removed. Get right, already posted on the angle. That's NIP with 5, and coming off with a back foot there. Great play by Draken to just puncture his way back into the bomb site and give NIP something to work with.
And I don't know how no one checked this. See, after the first kill at least, you could see, I guess the call came then as Rez did die to it, and then you see Forrest eventually kind of look at it like, oh, that's probably what Rez meant by somewhere on the site probably. But yeah, hero level AWP now coming out from Happy to even up the money, and Draken hits the jump, hits the shot, and falls off.
This is something that I find a little curious. Happy yesterday would play the single AK as opposed to, say, putting it in the hands of Scream, putting it in the hands of RPK. It's Happy who would hang on to that one single gun, and he's going to do it again here with the AWP. You'd think, of course, with Sixer having that glorious round before, that maybe he does it?
He used to do this over Kenny, yes, so don't...
Okay. No questions asked.
Honestly, it's best not to ask questions with this. Like, oh, do you think Kenny would do better with that? Nope. All right, cool. RPK, though, going to do just fine with a P250, but let's see where that AWP actually is posted currently. It's in Happy's hands. He's going all the way back around. So, going to try and find some relevance to this. The Scream now starting to feel the pressure. Squeaky containing 1, swings on it, and a miss. Happy now. Not much of a hope in this, considering he has no step towards the site. Might be able to get a kill or two, but yeah, save time becomes very, very likely.
Nip getting their feet back underneath them now. So, this is going to be 2 consecutive rounds, mirroring that of EnVyUs since the pistol. Well, Forrest has cooled off a little bit since his fantastic start. It's been really Get Right stepping up. So we saw the new guns on Inferno from NIP really setting the precedent. Now it's the old dogs finding success. Happy, able to take 1 as he exits, but Rez will smother him to the backside of the CT spawn. And that's no op here moving forward for EnVy. So again, a 2-point lead on Nip. You can't help but feel like it should be another, considering the cash of EnVy.
NIP starting to build up now on the T side. Good money built on, what, 3 of the players? 6, 7, 6K between Drake and Rez and Get Right. So plenty to fall back on. And just a stack out here for EnVy. I don't mind it. Try and get something done. Push up, get a gun away, try and overwhelm maybe the AWPer, the hearing going off. God, he is close. If only he knew how close. But still. Molly goes in. Might go for a late boost. Maybe not advisable, but could do. But the more information they get on the other sides, on the extremities of the map, the more they'll realize it is this mid-stack. They might actually hear these steps. Get Right's actually not far from this. He's on the other side. No, definitely not heard it, but they're going to go towards A anyway. Scream does make his way back in time, but by now, NIP are out on site. Yeah, they're trying to go for that fast flank, but luckily NIP, they get themselves out of the box before it's closed upon them. Exist able to find 1 frag, down goes Scream, so threats being quelled. XMS coming in from behind, though, going to deal a bit of damage. That's Draken, the op, but he gets shut out. Can't help but doubt EnVyUs in this situation. Maybe they find a couple exits. Maybe Nip really want to force these duels. Or maybe they just walk away from this. They can't go too far, so EnVyUs just trying to hold them at the site, but Get Right says goodnight. XMS is down. And it's another round in the hands of NIP. Yeah, going to be at 7-4 here. Happy trying to get something done at the very end there. Not to beat his time. And let's see what the money's like on EnVy now. Do they have enough for a buy? Yeah, they're fine. So they're on 6.8 on one of the players, so we can get an AWP up. That's on 6 now. Finally get to see him back on this one. I'm surprised there hasn't been a timeout for EnVy. That, you know, this is a big string of rounds now coming through for NIP. They're starting to build up. You know, it was 4 in a row, then 3. It's starting to really come together for them. I haven't seen an answer from EnVy just yet. But again, maybe it's just a lack of money and maybe a lack of that. Sixer landing a great opening kill, providing so much potential now with EnVy in this round. That's before all utility gets put down to play. That's a huge initial impact. Now, what does NIP have here? These A hits have been pretty consistent, but there's still this man. A bit of a danger man, to say the least. Forrest. Having one of those games where he becomes a little bit scary as an individual player. And already Sixer's going to back away from middle, so this is open for grabs. And it looks like he's going to work his way up. At least, of course, with Sixer moving over to the truck side. The A player should have been known that this was a threat. Forrest able to capitalize there with a headshot, and now all of a sudden this A site is in question. Forrest smoking to the back, so the Z is no longer a problem for him.
and he's just looking for space to fight with. Happy gets flashed into A main, and he takes down 2. Sixer challenged and dropped off the site. That's Rez with the next frag, and Forrest looking to create further space, but they don't have that bomb. Unfortunately, Forrest, he's gonna take Scream, so the rotation now down by 1. CT's trying to double on bomb, but instead Rez gonna sneak away with it. And that smoke grenade sections them off, so it has fallen, and an immediate route from Rez straight to the B site.
Yeah, they're off, and Forrest is going to hear this. He can call out, okay, they're going to be there pretty soon, maybe turn back around, and he does. But is this the double fake? Because Happy, he could still go mid. And timing is going to become a factor here, because they're going to realize I don't hear steps, I don't hear the bomb being planted. We've been sold the double fake. Great communication between Forrest and Rez there. As soon as Forrest heard those instant steps, they backed from it. And EnVy, horrible surprise on B, but they do now have to turn around and try and retake this, try and maybe get back into it, or maybe consider saving those guns.
Hook, line, and sinker. Poor old EnVyUs. Gonna try to make something happen, at least back towards this A site. Rez is on quad. He's able to find Happy first and foremost. XMS continues to creep in. Again, he has no kit, so we couldn't even go for that last-minute defuse. Maybe just try to hold the Opera on the site, but Rez will punch his way out. And that's NIP with another round, doubling the score of EnVyUs and leaving them deflated economically. Should not be another buy. This was a great kill from Forrest, but again, I kind of question it. You see the A player just giving himself up for free, and because Sixer had fallen back, he should have known that was a threat. Maybe they don't expect the timing, but Forrest was already very quickly there.
This is starting to get a little out of control. EnVy don't have those answers. The problem is, I guess, in the back of your head, oh, it's just close rounds. Oh, they're just getting, you know, a couple of lucky moments, but these lucky moments seem to be happening more and more often. But there isn't much money now with EnVy down to Deagles and P250s. Nathan lets the shot fly. Forrest gonna spot out one by the Sugar Cube in mid. Oh, God, okay, yeah, lands the shot eventually. Always feel uncomfortable when you're playing with those P250s that have so much movement, and you can see RPK's already going to claim 1 life there. And get right, normally a master at taking these B sites. Used to do it solo a hell of a lot, so certainly knows his way around it.
Being very thorough in their smoking and flashing of the bomb site. Get right continues to just creep forward. He does hear feet next to him, and he will deal with them, but so does Scream, hitting a headshot, and he's looking for more here. He does have that retrieved AK. RPK with a headshot through the edge of the wall. Forrest trying to fire him out, looks for the peak preemptively, but RPK with a drive-by, and only Forrest standing. Sixer does not have a gun, but that's not even gonna matter. Scream from the heavens above, able to get into position with ample time, and that's a freebie of a round for EnVy. The sorts of rounds Nip cannot afford to lose. Inexcusable, one would say, but it was all down to this. RPK getting that first AK in hand. I want to see that kill right here.
Little run past, just like, boop. That's just makes you love CSGO, doesn't it? Oh, I love running pistols. They're just great. Not tilting at all, but timeout comes in. Now, I'm kind of hoping at this point, yeah, they actually have a talk about this, because you can't depend on RPK finding 3 kills with a P250. And it looks like Sixer and Happy having a little heated exchange, or maybe just discussing how to approach the next couple of rounds.
He's probably asking for the op.
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, we're going to have to wait to see what their plan is coming into this. Because, you know, okay, they obviously did win that round. They did do very nicely off the back of it, but you need it to be more consistent. They're being overrun by NIP. They're finding it hard to find consistent CT information. They aren't doing well on their CT aggression, though. I've got to say that. They're able to get in their faces a lot, but it's just, you know, these rounds are so close. So hard for them to find a definitive answer to what NIP are bringing.
Lots of discussion going on. Again, coach for EnVy, Happy, Sixer. At least they're all communicating. I feel like I have seen all too often EnVy has become one of those teams that gets quiet. That's not the case. Both teams talking it out, discussing what lies ahead. Of course, the hard reset versus EnVyUs would be a heartbreaker. They still have the opportunity to finish this half at a 7-8 score, but we wait no more as the 14th round is upon us.
Time to find out the game plan. EnVy, what do you have in store for us? A mid-stack seems like what they're throwing at this round for now. Looks like a bit of a return play coming out from 2 players in Squeaky here for NIP. Might be seeing the door opening the other side. Yeah, Rez being forced the other way around. So now they get a more favorable peek. And they can work with Drake and able to see now towards default and work his way out. Exist going to molly out one of the spots there towards garbage, but kind of unraveling what's going on. They're getting good info here, NIP.
At least keeping EnVyUs ambiguous. Making him move, making him scuttle. Sixer, of course, is tagged quite heavily, down to 32. Does have his op. But now he's over towards that B site. We saw him anchoring A quite successfully so. It's Draken who wants the pick. Shoulder peeks shining through. Wallbang attempts as well. But no execution just yet. Molotovs each way. Flashbangs to follow suit. Smokes certainly inbound. But not yet. 30 seconds.
Oof. Dangerous play coming through between these two. It is going to be an A hit from NIP. I doubt they're going to turn around on 28 seconds. They might prove me wrong, but that could be the go signal. 1 kill towards default. That means RPK's removed. Where are the rest? XMS, the next in line. Good flash, hinders the approach. 20 seconds now. Scream tries to get on the action, but no, it might just be XMS here. All alone. Surrounded by the ninjas, and there it is. Drake can take him down. The bomb can be planted safely. No mollies on the other side, and Happy. Where's your head at? Forrest loses his. And now, I don't know if they can play retake with double AWPs here. Little bit beyond reach.
Especially not with mid control. You can see how cautious Sixer's trying to play this. So unfortunately for EnVyUs, they go back into that double op setup, but neither of those AWPs have any relevance in the round, just because NIP instead take down that A site. Again, Draken being the trigger on the execution. XMS had a chance there to line up those 2 targets as he was toppled over, but it's just not the case. So EnVyUs going to passively hang on to these double ops, move it forward into the final round of the half, and look for more than only 5. Happy able to get himself at least another kill, but how's the reinvestment? It'll be all right. Worse for wear.
Yeah, you could see NIP, as soon as they got the kind of the go signal, instantly dive in on it, not held back. And the double ops really need to start paying off for Envy. They need more than this. It's going to be maybe a 10-5 on the half, otherwise not the worst in the world. It's totally fine, very manageable. Bearing in mind, Envy, when they were on the attacking side, did do really well on just the last map. So, a bit of a B stack coming out from Envy this time. Maybe this is another new approach they want to try and toy with, but Draken's waiting for this, and here comes the peek. He's so aware. Such smart play, but would you expect the second? It seems to get right. Did. Sadly couldn't get the better of Scream.
Draken with a Molotov in hand gets punished for that. Happy with his op, able to find 1 frag. So we saw again those ops come up empty-handed in the last round. EnVyUs able to trade down Draken already. Triple AK, all that remains. 2 players slain. RPK gonna get himself the next. That's Forrest smothered next to Fork. RPK cowering for cover, but Exist is gonna deal with him. Rez trying to find the entry now that he gets the reload, but Scream taking both, and that's at least another round on the board. 9-6 the score.
It's a window of a road to recovery. It's not a brilliant half for Envy. They certainly got outplayed a fair amount by NIP on that T side. The ninjas bringing a lot of variety, some very well constructed hits. Also, Forrest having a great game. That's always a great addition. That's something you always look for. But they've given themselves enough rounds so that they can come in on that second half and be just fine. Scream fighting those last 2 gives them that bit of hope that they can really grind this out. They could maybe close it in 2. Because we get to that third, you've got to feel maybe that sits well with the ninjas. I don't know. It's a bit of a toss-up on that one. You could definitely call it either way. You can see Threat there having a discussion as to maybe some of the plans, what's going on. It looks like Exists having his dad talk for him. Then he was like nodding along like, listen to what my dad says, all right? It's important. And at the moment, wait a couple more seconds and we'll get this one back started here. The crowd are going wild. As you can see, having a little nap. Just chilling out on the half. This is the semi-final, bearing in mind. This is map 2. This half defines it all. The grand finals away. Only one of these 2 teams can make it there, however. Yet to find out who they'll face, but that will be after this. And 9-6 is where we're at currently. Envy need to bring it on this T side. They need to put up a real performance here. Otherwise, map 3 awaits.
Immediate boost from Scream, just trying to spot some feet. course, it is going to be EnVyUs, Sixer in particular, with that smoke double flash. So, where do they go with this? They've left the bomb outside. They're just going to play it slowly. No overcommitment as of yet.
Looking at the positioning of RPK, it looks like they are very aware that NIP might want to go for some aggression on the CT side. Him sitting this far back, just jiggle peeking the corner, just basically keeping tabs on it. If maybe Rez, Draken, or anyone else tries to play off, because normally they play in Forest. This is the same piece that I was talking about at the start of the game, where basically the other two players set him up for success. And it worked before. He had these crazy moments. It was beautiful to watch. But if EnVy have watched any of Cologne, they know that that is what NIP go to. That's their pistol round on Cash. Playing him in from the back of checkers. And considering how far out they are in A, it's retake time for NIP. That instantly goes into their minds. Okay, lost control, no problem. Ensure they don't gain any extra ground anywhere else. We'll keep them in close to this area. But now it's retake. They got a smoke and a kit on Get Right. He is the kind of last line of what NIP need to get into this site.
All has gone according to NIP's plan. They're starting to get flashed back. So, smoke grenade, gonna section off 2. And now the CTs start to come filtering in. Scream trying to slow them down, peppering them with gunfire. The 9mm looking for the heads, but Forrest is able to take that first frag. Here's EnVyUs swinging it with 2. The knife removed. Sixer with a TK, but XMS another frag. It's Get Right to the heavens, and EnVyUs with a pistol. 9-7 the score, and EnVy on the front foot to start the second half.
Hold on, did Happy just smile then? Can we get a replay? Any chance we can just... No, not now. Now it's gone. See, they go back to him. It's a second. It's an instant. It looked like he was almost pleased. And I can tell as to why, because they're back in this game now. It's all very much open. If EnVy start feeling good about this, if they start bringing the game on, you've got to be hurting on the NIP side. Don't allow for those moments to happen. Don't let these guys get away with it, NIP, or otherwise you'll be losing out in 2. Who'd have thought it? NIP had a far stronger performance so far, looking way cleaner throughout their initial games. EnVy having to take, I guess, the tougher route as such, having to fight harder, further than most people would expect, but they are proving people wrong as they go. I'm waiting on the timing, waiting on something to go right. Bit of a spam, bit of a spray, no connection. Rez slightly damaged, but nothing to really write home about. I'm happy. Trying to bait anyone into taking a shot, Drake, and they're carefully looking around.
Wants to ensure that he doesn't get caught out, but little flashbang towards A main. Peeking, prodding, prying. Trying to get something rolling. Now off of the grenades, we're going to see them start to push forward. Draken does get burned out of the corner. Nice Molotov play, so they're not just kind of over-aggressing. They are just going to play this smart, but that's still 3 frags now for EnVy. The hold was in question, but it's Rez on the retake 1v4. So much damage dealt, you can't help but feel like that could have started to go the other way. Just not today.
It was the final flashbang that really swung that back over favorably towards EnVy. Rez, you gonna do something for us, Rez? Scream's 1 HP, Happy's vulnerable. Show us what you got, Rez. Scream, waiting on the corner. Rez slowly works up. There's another. And not bad. He keeps the money away. And you can see a little bit like, okay, we're getting there now. That he is smiling. There it is. Many fist bumps. Oh, there we go. That's the replay I was after. Look at it. He's feeling happy.
A dance as well.
This is rarity. Oh, that's a
This is a whole new EnVyUs.
Do you know what, DreamHack? You got some talented people on replay. In Cologne, we barely had a replay, so you know what? I'm happy. But still, this is good stuff from EnVy. 8 rounds sitting by their name. NIP being humbled here. Something that you didn't expect to see them sitting down on. This was meant to be their map. They're kind of way back to the forefront. A bit of a beast tag, but it gets dismantled already. Happy and XMS doing the damage for us. He wants it on the action. It exists to find 2, but EnVy fight right back and just Get Right to be smothered as EnVy are now right on the doorstep, 9-9.
They've already managed to tie this game up. Fantastic start for them. If I'm not mistaken, they have not lost a pistol this entire series yet. Speaking of pistols, XMS gonna hang on to his yet again. We saw this on the CT side. They're gonna try to work it on the opposite side of the coin. Of course, that's still an SMG in the hands of Scream. little bit of spam, a little bit of spray.
No pressure, Rez, but you're about to have a lot of players right next to you. This is a really nice angle. You saw Rain doing this during Cologne as well, and he had some incredible moments for FaZe. Looking for a way out, though. He'd already stepped once. He doesn't want to outstay his welcome, but now it does isolate Forest. The smoke comes back in. That allows him some room. He goes to position towards that Snacks corner, hoping that they don't check on it, but they do. The spam comes in. XMS, great damage with the Tech 9, but he's already out. Look at these flashes. Oh, it's relentless. Forest can barely see, ringing in his ears, and he's wondering, how the hell did XMS get here? But it doesn't matter by now. It's between Rez and Exist. The shutdown comes in. It's all on Happy.
He's already been able to retreat back to the side of Checkers, but he doesn't get that bomb. So he has to come back in with 40 seconds to play off of. He spots the man on the hop. Oh, dirty. Draken with a wall bang. One shot is all he needs to take the Ninjas towards the double digits. Happy thought he had a chance, but he was denied.
Yeah, between Rez, does it exist here? Yeah, between Rez and Exist, that was a really nice shutout, and this is the final one. As you do. Nice and casual. It works, and that's all you can ask at the moment, is getting it done. NIP needed a reminder, a bit of a refresher on that CT side that, yeah, we get it going, don't worry. They do on the important round as well, the gun round, the big buy, but it wasn't actually that much of an investment from EnVyUs. It was still a lighter purchase. They still had that Tech 9, they had a UMP. It wasn't that full investment. Now, they don't have an AWP or anything in this one, but they do have all rifles and plenty of Molotovs.
Starting to use those Molotovs towards the boost, just to ensure nobody counters it. Forest priming a flash towards main. That's going to allow Exist a bit of wiggle room. Just trying to clear out these corners. Now, there's still that forward presence from Drake, and he's posted on the angle and Squeaky. While the Molotov forces Exist back, Draken's going to move forward further. Happy holds the cross, but he's going to pull out the smoke. Flashbang up close. XMS completely blind. Exist capitalizes on the opportunity, but XMS gets the entry. And a re-smoke. Draken able to push so far up that he removes Scream off of the boost. So now they know what's going on. And Envy down to a 3v4. Can they find some more? RPK certainly can, as he entries into B. That's where the bomb does stand. Get right. Smoked off. But creeping forward as EnVyUs make it towards site. Does he wait? Does he fight? RPK down for the count. And it is just Sixer standing.
Not known for the rifle. The AWP far more regularly used in his hand. Flash goes in towards CT, but he turns attention, looks towards Checkers, but it's Forest on the other side. And he will not relent. Diffuse comes in and NIP build again. The gun rounds are going their way.
This is solid. Sure enough, the pistol and double conversion. It's in the hands of Envy, but a dodged reset in that round puts Nip in a great spot to keep moving this one forward. 2 points to the lead, and what should be an easier task in front of them, seeing as EnVyUs will not be able to afford into this round. Not healthily anyways. They will buy themselves a couple of Deagles, a couple P250s, and a nice collection of grenades. This is actually quite the spend here. Scream down to 950. We've seen him keep just pistols in certain rounds before, but nice flash.
I don't know why he's invested so much. Everyone else brought down to around 2K, which is fine, but he's really gone in on this. All right. Method to the madness, I wait to find out. Rez doesn't quite get the molly he wants, but it's still fine. It does the job that it needs to. Falls back towards site. And he's got support here now. Get right, moves over, and now they have the 2B hold.
XMS already starting to prime the molly. That's going to go to the back of Checker's side. Of course, prevents a peek, but there's nobody there to even go for this. Get right instead stands on site, and Rez cowers to the corner. Meanwhile, EnVyUs start to retreat off of this, so no commitment has been made. They keep things in the open.
No, for Envy, that's info. Happy's just heard a step in main. That's actually pretty useful for him. I'm wondering if they can actually get away with this. They still have those smokes and flashes and mollies. If they can put them down in the right places, they could actually probably get this bomb plant. It's already looking like it's beginning to seem like a retake for NIP. Exist is working his way back in here, And they are still so dead set this is going to be a B hit. And here it comes. Exist is going to need to call for help right about now. He's going to find the first, the second, the third! It's perfect from Exist. This guy comes alive when it matters. That could have been a bomb plant. That could have been everything. You never know how that goes from then on. Envy with pistols, you know they're deadly. So now, Happy trying to do anything he can. Make it costly, make it annoying to deal with, but no. All Exist. And that was a massive round from him.
That was glorious to the back of Forklift. Just headshots aplenty. He's content with himself, clearly. Let's just enjoy this. Never more than 3 bullets per kill.
Incredibly concise. And yeah, now Scream's down to the Tech 9. I don't get why he bought so much last round. He would have been on the same buy as everyone else. So maybe just a missed mistake. A little over purchase, maybe just didn't focus. And again, they are trying to go towards B. Rez and Forest on the other side. Smoke's still up. You can see above it, Rez still looking for that info. But for Envy, you kind of need to get this round going now. Otherwise, this NIP, 13 rounds, you start to feel like you're basically there.
Starting to run out of chances is Envy. Forest anti-flash. Just going to stay standing. This does give a bit of wiggle room for Rez to play off of. He's trying to spot targets, trying to spam them out. Has to be cautious. But at least now Forest is here to support, so they're keeping up the pressure, but as is Envy. RPK gets flashed into checkers, leaving Forest on his lonesome. Molotov to try and keep this A main push away. B, rather. Nip has arrived. 3 players coming into the site. Forest tries to dodge the fight, but it's Draken who takes the kill. However, he is still sectioned out. Scream on site. Allows that bomb to cross. Get Right tries to spam yet again. Another bit of utility being spent here from Envy. And they are going to find this site for the taking.
Where is Happy right now? He's so far away from the rest of the team. He can be incredibly useful in a second's time, but if NIP do this quickly, there are problems ahead. Draken to find Scream. Sixer needs to stay alive for a little bit of time here. He needs to buy time. Happy, he strikes. The molly, it can be perfect. He needs to get it down. Where's the plant? Oh, Exists on the bomb. 1 second, Happy. He makes it in time. No, NIP got the defuse. Happy's lurk was so late. I don't get it. I don't know why he went around that long. Oh, why did he go that way? Why did he wait so long to throw down the molly like that? I don't know if it was a miscommunication, if he didn't know where the plant was, if he... I don't get it. You could throw that molly just fine from 3 steps prior. So let's watch this again. Molly goes in. He finds the fire. But by that time, the bomb defuse came in. It was a second late, but... This game is a matter of seconds, and when he's already gone round all the way through A main, and his team are already wounded, and NIP is starting to retake, he's so late to that. Ugh.
Had the Molotov been thrown sooner, had the first bullet hit, slight variables make all the difference. Not just a game of seconds, but milliseconds at that. Unfortunate for Envy, but they are going to get themselves another chance. They haven't given this up just yet. XMS with an entry, Draken with the trade. And a 4v4 towards site. But again, that bomb from Envy's trying to pry over towards the B site where Forest's left alone. But as opposed to revealing himself, he's just going to camp to the backside of checkers. Now, a single Molotov on Scream could force his feet. Instead, Forest goes for the fight, and it costs him. RPK to take the frag, and now the spam from him as well. 4v2, greatly done, but Get Right on the lurk. He's going to catch this rotation with a headshot onto Happy, but he's tagged significantly so. 12 health, all that remains as Scream will plant the bomb.
Bomb has been planted.
This retake looks pretty unlikely, as they are trying to adjust away. Draken can always fall back towards CT and they can keep all of these guns. Money-wise, NIP starting to get a little lower on cash. A couple of players might need to be dropped out here. Not exactly having that full purse to back on towards, as Envy very much taking away the vast majority of their funding. Very close rounds coming through in the last couple of moments as well, bear in mind. But overall here, finally a fight back for Envy. After what was an incredibly close round in a very questionable moment. They have a bit of a breath of fresh air after what felt like a lifetime of darkness. They are back in this one. They do make it to double digits, and they can punish the money now from NIP if the break comes in.
Poor Nip, actually. Poor Nip, quite literally. This is going to be a crucial round for both sides here. Either EnVy get a second on the board and they can run away with a little bout of momentum, or they get hard reset and Nip could have an easy job of sealing the deal.
Look at this read. EnVy know that NIP want aggression here. It's such a good read. Sixer was primed with this flash. He kind of eats it himself, but RPK was already boosting himself up or sitting on that spot. They are very aware that NIP want to switch something up whenever they seem to lose a round or go down to slightly less money or work with less utility. Good mental fortitude from EnVy to read into this now. Still got a lot to work with themselves here too. That molly could do wonders, but Draken could cause a lot of problems for them.
Draken's gonna get pushed off his angle, so he's gonna leave Rez isolated behind the boxes amongst those smokes. Luckily for Rez, he does not get pushed upon. EnVyUs instead to redivert their attention. Still leaving bomb outside of mid-main, so no commitment can be made. But the fight versus Get Right could be what they want instead. Forrest with a nice little boost, using the light fixture as opposed to the boxes, gives him a bit more of an off angle. He's going to start to tag down XMS, but he can't take himself that frag. 92 points of damage, all he gets. And forced back at that bomb heading towards the B site, but EnVyUs keeping up this pressure.
Now, the problem is that Exist can see this. He sees that there's no one else pulling through, so you can see Get Right's already rotating towards B. It'll leave maybe 2 players here for now. That doesn't really worry NIP. They're going to have the main vast majority of their workforce already on this B site. Get Right causing impact. Rez is there. Peek-a-boo. He gets the job done. It's down to Happy now, who's a mile away, not surprisingly. And sadly this time, no chance on the lurk that he depended on before that didn't work out in the end. Time runs out. NIP stepping again. Right direction, right time, right place. We're seeing why they're so damn good at cash.
But again, as alluded to, that cash flow for EnVy hits a bit of a brick wall. Unable to convert their point. Solid hold from Rez. Solid hold from the entirety of the Ninjas. Let's see what happens here. We are going to get that second AK and the third. Sixer, Scream to Force. Not playing for OT, but rather the win.
Yeah, I think that EnVy wanted the timeout, but kind of forgot they already got one, I think, during this game. So, whatever it may be. A little late on the purchase, but no real time to adjust now for themselves. They need to think of a way to approach this. They could go for a little bit of a slower hit here, maybe just talk things through for a little while. Mull over their options because, as said, NIP's CT side has been so good. Even though they had a good read a couple of times, it just hasn't quite paid off. Now, RPK and XMS are going to have to work with far than perfect amounts. Draken making a gamble there, does get away. Gives up the angle to Scream, but he can't use it. Scream will get absolutely destroyed. Forrest now played in off the back of that. RPK goes looking for info and flies far more than that. Flash comes out. Forrest can now back from this. And again, NIP just kind of bring down the fence. EnVy not getting a look in here.
Ooh, XMS at least able to grab one headshot, and that A site has fallen. But to what avail? The bomb quite easily in the control of NIP. And if you're EnVyUs at this point, you can't help but feel like the save's already on the table. I mean, you can see them communicating. Happy, very vocal at this moment. Could use this opportunity to just converse. Why not? They need to figure out some kind of a solution. They're going to have 5 opportunities to force OT, and they need to take every single one. Nip have done a fantastic job of locking down cash, locking down their pick, and potentially extending this series to 3.
Yeah, just remember moments ago Happy was dancing. Now, not so much. Keep hold of the guns. Eye up for more opportunities. No fist bumps for you, Draken. Put your hand down. Good shot there towards Scream, however. But yeah, 15 to 10. NIP's CT side coming in pretty strong for them right now. And it feels like, sadly for EnVy, they've lost out on that punch. They don't have a single player doing, you know, crazy amounts for them. It's not like you have that RPK or that Scream power coming through, which is, you know, that's not necessarily an awful thing. You don't need that sort of approach. But right now, NIP are going to want to run away with this. Look at it. Instantly running towards A main. Proper player, nice and early. They could have left Exist in there. They don't. They fall him away from it. And now, the rest of EnVy look for more opportunities. They're still going to be playing very, very slowly on this one. I don't think they'll be able to make a quick piece happen just because of that CT-side aggression. Look at XMS. He has to sit like this until they can try and retake the control.
Of course, EnVyUs realize that the moment some of these players start to fall, their chances go from slim to none. So they want to make sure that when they commit to something, when they make up their mind, that they execute fully into it. Draken presented targets, able to drop one, but he does fall to 15 points of health. Draken taking two. The bomb fumbled to the ground, but Sixer, at least with one trade frag, able to retrieve it as Happy lurks yet once more in through mid, not going towards the A site as of yet. Sixer, a little scared, but Happy, look at this, all the way back towards CT spawn. If he can get behind this A site, he could crack it wide open. Meanwhile, Forrest does the same. If Scream were to win that, it could have been great, but instead now, the T side is boxed in, except for Happy.
But one's not enough, he needs more. Two is very good, however. But now the problem begins, well, how much of a pain can Forrest be, or is it Get Right? Have they forgotten about him? Do not forget about Get Right. He's just done it for them. NIP get this one back at 1-1. There's a reason everyone just went, all right, Cash, that's theirs. They put it right in their pocket, and they know how to play this. Even with Envy bringing a good game, that first half was incredibly competitive. But as soon as it started to grind down to those moments, as soon as NIP started to come into their own, and Envy's style just seemed to run out of steam, you hit the wall and you start thinking about map 3.
Yep, absolutely. Train next up on the cards. What a great series this has been already, and it's not going to come to a close just yet. However, Ninjas get themselves a little wiggle room.
They do, and they also get themselves a short break now to take a couple of seconds just to kind of talk things over, try and get themselves ready for that third map. Now we decide who's going to be going to those finals. Will it be Envy, who've really surprised most of us? That Inferno performance was second to none. They showed us some great moments between them all, but Cash started to fade away on the second half, and NIP regained what we expected to see, maybe on map 1 as well. So map 3 is going to be Train, and it's going to be incredible. So guys, do stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment's time.